Hello viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again. This is BVI Channel 1. We are live again on Matters Arising. Today, we're just going to be looking at the Soludo government. Like an appraisal of so far how he has performed. Because so many people had been, hey Chinedu, you campaigned seriously for Soludo. What is happening? There are so many people who are coming up with some kind of criticism, saying that some of his policies are anti-people, like what we discussed the other time. We talked about the taxation on the keke napep and other road transport, commercial transport users, okay, or operators. And this issue of demolition, so many people had been on my neck as to the issue of some of his policy. Some people are saying that, oh, Soludo is talking too much. We've not seen anything on ground. People want to see road being constructed. People want to start seeing, beautification of Anambra State and the rest of them. And knowing fully well that immediately he came in, a whole lot of security challenges came up and people were like, oh, he has failed completely and the rest of them. That is what we are going to be deliberating on tonight, as to looking critically the performance of Soludo. He has stayed in office for over 3 months. He has stayed in office for over 100 days. So we are going to look at some of his activities, his policies, his programs, and the rest of it. And I'll be bringing on, after a short documentary on his activities, especially with respect to refuse bin management, demolition exercise happening, and the other issues around it. I'll be joined in this program Barrister Livingston, who is already seated to be part of this program. So when we are done with the video documentary we'll be bringing to you shortly, then we'll bring him on. Then you are expected to call the numbers on the screen, +234-810-4545-533, to make your submission. That's the number right there on the screen, to tell us what you think about Soludo's performance so far, so good, when we open up the land. This program is going to be very short. We're starting quite late, but due to the fact that we needed to, do this very appraisal so as to move forward as a people. And I believe the government themselves, they're also watching, and, they will be listening to the opinion of the people regarding this very topical issue. So we'll be looking at his demolition exercise, the opinion of the masses as to what they think with respect to some of Soludo's activities. Then I'll be bringing in the guest who will be joining me to do this very analysis critically. All right, I'll be taking a short break while you watch this documentary. I'll be right back.
24 hours after his inauguration in March, the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, visits Okoko, a densely populated urban slum in the Ogbaru local government area of the state. His desire to begin his renewal plan for the area prompted this visit to get a clearer view of the environmental degradation occasioned by heavy flooding. Heaps of refuse on major roads are not hidden from the governor's sight as he tours Okoko and neighboring communities. Residents who had for long overlooked their responsibilities began to sweep inner roads and clear blocked drainage channels.
Hello.
Realizing that poor sanitation and structures built along major waterways are causing further environmental degradation, Governor Soludo asks owners to remove them or have them demolished by the state government. 3 months on, a task force from the Anambra state government storms some communities in Onitsha, where the demolition exercise begins. Several structures, including houses and fences, are brought down to open up the waterways. However, a mild drama plays out when the leader of the church attempts to halt the exercise.
It has nothing to do with Igbo. You are our brother. It has nothing to do with tribe. You are touching my church. Don't just misunderstand it. It's about the fact that this church was built on Gole.
Which on Gole?
Yes, that is on Gole. Please. It has nothing to do with Igbo or not. Please.
Calm returns shortly after, and the task continues.
Which one? Which side are you talking about?
The move by the state government to bring sanity to the area and avoid disaster receives a nod from residents.
We that are living in our area, we are experiencing much flood. Just some little rain, you will see flood everywhere. Your properties, you'll be taking your properties up, carrying like someone that is living at the ghetto. I believe it is like this that the former governments have been doing. I believe it not could be like this.
We do appreciate it because the drainages are all blocked. Without demolishing this thing, there is no how you can dredge the drainage. So it's a good outcome. Almost all the buildings around here are submerged because the drainage were not flowing. So, but when the drainage are dredged, then there's no how you can submerge the buildings that are around here.
At St. Dominic Catholic Parish, Fege, structures obstructing the waterways are also brought down. The priest in charge of the parish expresses mixed feelings.
So if the government say that this is the best thing it has to do for the good of Anambrian, I'm in support of it. But I think there are many works to be done first before this one, like removing the refuse dump all over the places. This thing should not be the first thing.
The intention behind the state government's move is explained by the Commissioner for Information.
Recall that when Governor Soludo came into office in March 17th, the next day he visited Obuku, and he made it very, very clear that all the structures occupying Water Channel would be removed so that the place will become habitable for people. Because when rainy season comes, when we have a lot of rain, these water channels that are being blocked make water to be diverted into people's homes. And this thing causes a lot of havoc. We've had cases of where children, are drowned, where houses are sunk, and all sorts of calamities in our states. And this is because where the water is supposed to pass has been blocked with illegal structures. So when Governor, he made this very, very clear that it's not going to be business as usual. We must learn to begin to do things the right way. And one of them is to begin to build where government has approved that structures should be built.
The state spokesman also claims that owners of the affected structures
own properties, churches, and it was not just to Major. And subsequently, I think in May, if my memory serves me right, I personally, with the directives of government, announcement in AB Television, ABS Radio, National Light, and our various social media platforms, that 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, another notice was served. But while these notices were going out, you will recall that our governor held all meetings with landlords, particularly in Fege there. Why did he do this? He did this to carry all of them along so that nobody will be taken unawares.
While the demolition exercise continues, Governor Chukwuma Soludo President announces more consequences for those who test the government's directive.
Build in a place where you are not authorized to build, where you don't have a legal right to build, there must be consequence. Indeed, we had asked the people who had built on these channels to remove them by themselves. Now that they have failed, and I'm telling you, by the time we finish these demolitions, it's costing money to do that. It's costing us money to do the demolitions. It's going to cost money to take away the debris. We're going to put down the cost and send each one of them the bill. Yes, we'll send them the bill for the cost of these demolitions and the cost of doing this. Somebody was asking, somebody called me and said, oh, can they be given another place? I said, or should they be, you should be asking how much they will be paying the state, how much they should be paying for the people who have died because of their action. We should be asking those questions. 3 staff or 4 young men of United Bank of Africa died a few years ago, 3 or so years ago. Young people promising they just got new jobs, got into a car after job, but came out. But the places were blocked, and the massive flood, such that swept their car into a ditch, they were all drowned. That's the consequence of what these people's blocking the drainage. They're the ones who should be, they should be apologizing to Anambra and pay compensation for the harm that they have been bringing to the city, to the people, for the deaths, for the people that their actions have led to their death.
The state government says it's resolved to continue with the demolition exercise across Onitsha and in other parts of the state, especially in disaster-prone areas. The aim is to make Anambra State more conducive for living and attractive to investors.
Yeah, welcome back again. That is it. The documentary as what is happening so far in Anambra State with respect to Soludo's government. I want to also tell you that this is a live interactive section, and when we open up the lines, you can make your call and drop your comment. We would like to have your opinion on the topic we are discussing tonight. So we'll also appreciate your comments on the comment section, which we will be taking our time to review some of your comments. Now, we already have the barrister seated right here with us. Hello, barrister. Good evening. welcome to the program. We would like to hear from you your opinion with respect to Soludo's administration so far regarding taxation, development, waste management, and all the rest of them, security and the rest of them, but mainly on the issue of demolition exercise that is happening, and some people are saying it is quite too early. So what's your opinion, Barrister?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Hello.
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go on.
Thank you very much for bringing me through. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Go on, we can hear you loud and clear. Go on, Barrister.
Yeah, my take on this is one, a government of Soludo, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, for so far, all of the promises that he made, and we are seeing some of them that are coming up gradually, except there are some few lapses. One, before the outgoing government, the last government that left and his own government came in, he made promise of the removal of the refuse in Anambra State. And we've seen some good moves that were made, except there are some areas where that after the removal of the waste bin, then what we are looking at is the follow-up. The follow-up in the sense that after the removal, there should be a check on those areas to see that continuation of that dumping of refuse. He needs to put up a check to make sure that that continuation should not be maintained, because we noticed that after the removal, a lot of people used to go back there to start dumping refuse, and the challenges of waste collection and waste removal. That one is just one of the challenges that he needs to look into and be able to see how effective that this thing should be carried out to the letter. Because his government, people were so much enthusiastic to vote for him, especially to give him the mandate, just like he has made known to us that he is our servant, a public servant. So then my own concern is, again, respect to the legal structure demolition. And last time, the governor was able to say that enough time was given, but my own issue there is how much time that was given. Because it's not enough to give a notice of 3 months, asking somebody to remove structure. And one of the challenges of removing of structure is there's some logistics that are also needed to be able to carry out those things. So I believe that in that area, the governor has been doing well, but there are some more detailed actions that need to be taken. There should be what we call an express template to carry out that execution without trying to make it look as if some people are being witch hunt. Because one thing is that he is the father of all, as long as Anambra State is concerned. And then we have a lot of people. You have the people with high mind, low mind, and you have some can even place sentiment in it. Because I'm worried that the kind of support, the massive support that he enjoyed during the election, I still want that momentum to be maintained and sustained. I wouldn't want in a situation whereby a lot of people will feel biased simply because they gave him that support and he now became the governor of Anambra State. Then a lot of issues is not being properly taken care of. So these are the issues for me he needs to look into it, because the people who have been affected, like most of the demolition that was taking place in Ochanja, some part of Main Market, there are some who actually said that they were not notified, but the government said that they have given enough notice. But the question is to whom that notice was being served. And again, how much awareness was made by the government through her agencies to see that people, the affected people, should be able to make a necessary preparation on time, to be able to carry out, to move their items from that area that has been marked as a place for demolition. So the issue of timing is where I'm much concerned that the governor, His Excellency, needs to look into it to see that enough time should be given to these people who are victims, these people that their properties have been marked, who are carrying out their trade in such areas like in the market that have been marked for demolition. So enough time should be given. And again, certainly that will inspire people to